Yo guys, what's up? This is Stylish, and now I'm gonna go through another TvP build order for you guys. This build order is gonna be a build that Fantasy used versus Stork in the 2008 Increte OSL finals. It was the I think it was the second game on Medusa. He lost, however, the build order is still very good. That's one thing that you should know, that even if a pro gamer loses with the build order, that doesn't mean the build order is bad or anything like that. It just means that maybe the opponent did the perfect counter, or he fucked up or something like that, because either way you should study the pro gamers builds because they are just excellent. So what I do here is I start with an FD opening, and the FD opening is a 9 supply followed by an 11 racks and 11 gas. Now usually you place the supply close to your CC and the rack close to your CC as well, but I like to mix things up, and maybe sometimes I add the supply at my wall in. So I make a wall and then make a barrack at like a wall. So he thinks that I'm going to make a wall in, and then maybe he thinks I'm gonna 2-fact, or he thinks I'm gonna expand or something like that. He doesn't know. He's unaware of what I'm doing, and that's the point of making a wall in like that. And as you see, I stop SV cut. I cut SV production at 11 to make the refinery as fast as possible, and then keep making SVs. And I'm gonna scout with this SV that I made now. Anyway, this build order is going to be a bit risky towards fast DT and DT drop. Not so much DT drop as fast DT, but both of those openings is going to be quite hard to beat with this strategy. But I mean, there are many strategies that are risky, and this strategy is quite risky to those openings. But I mean, most of the games you play, you're not going to face that kind of strategies. Of course, you're going to face it sometimes, but not in most of the games. Maybe most of the games on iCup though. But in a best of 3, it's really good to mix things up. It's really good to show him that you're capable of doing different strategies, and also some risky strategies to keep him cautious and keep him, thinking like, what's he gonna do? So that's really good for the mind game scenes, especially in a best of 3 or anything like that, in a tournament or something. And as you see here, after I made my factory, I make my factory before I make my second supply. But right after I make my factory, I make my second supply as soon as possible. And before my second supply, and right after the barrack is finished, I make my first marine, as you can see here. I will show you the build order on teamliquid.net later in my thread, of course. So when your second supply is finished, you can either make 1 marine or 1 SCV as soon as possible. You can make both, but you will only have 50 minerals, so you have to decide which one to make first. And it's quite easy, because if he gets into your base with a probe, make a marine. If he doesn't get into your base, then make him an SCV. And the reason for this is that if he doesn't get into your base, he won't get any information anyway, so you can make another SCV to make the economy even better. And if he gets into your base, you want to kill that probe as soon as possible, and the best way to do that is by chasing it with 2 marines, cutting off all the angles and stuff. So basically you make 4 marines with this build order, and then you lift your barrack and keep it over your marines, and hold position marines, so he cannot see your marine count, and he cannot target your marines with any goons. So basically you can be very safe with that. And as you can see, I make a tank, and after my third supply after my second supply, I add my third supply shortly afterwards. I don't upgrade any mine, siege mode, or speed with this build order. I just make tanks, and I make my first tank and then start making my second tank, and at the same time I go with an SCV and I make a CC at my natural and move out with my units. And also be sure to float your barrack out to your natural as well, and keep it over your tank, hold position your tank, so he cannot target your tank. He cannot see your tank count or anything like that, and his 2 or 3 goons will have to retreat if he decides to attack you. Anyway, after you make your CC, make your 4th supply, and then make your 3rd tank, and after that you make your second factory before any other tech. And after you made your second factory, you want to make your third factory. That's what's so different about this strategy. It's he's going to believe that you make the opening, like the FD opening, and well, first he's not going to know what you do, but when you move out and then take the CC, he's going to see, and he's going to think, oh, he's upgrading mines or whatever, and he's going to make an eBay fast, and I can take my third or something like that. But what you do is you add 3 factories as soon as possible, while constantly making tanks from your first factory. So after you've made those 3 factories, you can transfer SCVs to your expansion and then start upgrading mines in your machine shop. Not speed and not siege mode. You upgrade mines, okay? And you, the idea is to make 4 tanks. You will have 4 SCVs. I mean 4 marines, 4 tanks, and you can bring 2 SCVs as well in your group. And then you start making vultures out of all the 3 factories and keep making supply, because vultures take up a lot of supply. So when you have 4 tanks, 4 marines, and 2 SCVs in one group, and the first 2 vultures are out, then you move out. This will be around 6 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. And then you move out towards his base, and you add an eBay in your base as well. This way you will have turrets in time when you arrive at his base, and you can place turrets in your push, and also place a turret at your natural and in your main while moving out like this. And if he has a really fast shuttle, you will still have 4 marines to be able to pressure it, and 4 tanks to be able to shoot the reavers. So versus reavers, this is also a really good strategy in my opinion. Yeah, well, I think this is pretty much it. From here, you can improvise. I mean, this is a bit risky, but it's not as risky as the 2-fact on one base, because at the 2-fact, if you fail, you're pretty much gonna lose the game. But this time, you're gonna do some pressure, you're gonna do some damage, and if it doesn't work out, totally the way you want it, you can still win the game, because you're gonna have this really fast expansion, and you're gonna have to keep making SCVs at all times. So you can just add 3 more factories, an armory, an academy, and whatever, and just go into late game from this, because it's really strong. I'm gonna go through the weaknesses and the strengths of this build order in my in-game VOD of this build, which I'm gonna upload later on teamliquid.com. But basically, this is only about the build, so be sure to practice this build. It's always good to know a couple of build orders in each matchup. See you later.